The Galactic Council's chamber was a swirling vortex of tension. Holographic images of planets flickered above a massive circular table, illuminating the furrowed brows of alien leaders. The atmosphere was thick with unease as the Council, composed of powerful species from across the galaxy, grappled with the rise of humanity. The recent reports from scout ships confirmed what they dreaded. Humans were no longer content to remain confined to their home planet. Foolish primates, they dare to encroach upon our territories, bellowed Xylar, a towering figure from the reptilian Xanthari species. His scales glistened under the harsh lights as he slammed a clawed fist onto the table, sending a shudder through the assembled leaders. "Calm yourself, Xylar," interjected Zoreth, a slender, ethereal being from the Elendor race. "We must approach this with strategy, not brute force. They may be more dangerous than we think." Across the galaxy, aboard the U.S. Valor, Captain Alina Rourke stood at the helm, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and apprehension. The Dreadnought, a masterpiece of human engineering, hummed with energy beneath her feet. Its sleek, dark exterior shimmered under the overhead lights of the command deck, a stark contrast to the chaos brewing in the Council chamber. "Status report," Rourke called out, her voice steady and authoritative. "Engines at full capacity, Captain. We're ready to enter Galactic Council space," replied Lieutenant Rena, her trusted second-in-command, as she monitored the myriad of data streams flooding the display screens. "Good. Prepare for warp jump," Rourke ordered, her mind racing with the implications of their mission. They were not just explorers. They were ambassadors of humanity, and today they would assert their presence in a galaxy that had long overlooked them. As the crew made final preparations, Rourke glanced around the command deck, taking in the faces of her diverse team. Humans, once regarded as a fledgling species, now stood shoulder to shoulder with aliens from various worlds, united by a common goal. Their camaraderie filled the air with palpable energy. "Remember, everyone," she addressed her crew, "we're not here to pick a fight, but to show them that humanity is not to be underestimated. We've come too far to back down now." With a deep breath, she activated the warp drive, and the stars outside the viewport stretched into brilliant streaks of light. The U.S. Valor surged forward, crossing into the uncharted territories of the Galactic Council. As they emerged from the warp, the view outside was breathtaking yet foreboding. A sprawling starfield was dotted with alien vessels, each a testament to their respective cultures. But the tension in the air was undeniable. Rourke could sense the scrutiny of the Council as their ships began to converge around the Valor. "Captain, we're being hailed," Rena announced, her voice tinged with urgency. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a hologram of an imposing alien figure adorned in ornate armor, a symbol of authority and menace. "Identify yourself, human vessel," the alien demanded, its voice resonating with an otherworldly echo. "You have trespassed into our space without permission." Rourke squared her shoulders, her heart racing, but her resolve unwavering. "This is Captain Alina Rourke of the U.S. Valor. We come in peace, representing the United Nations of Earth. We wish to establish diplomatic relations." A murmur rippled through the alien ships, their disbelief palpable. Rourke's mind raced as she anticipated their reactions. Would they view her as a threat? Would they see humanity as the spark of a new era or the cause of their impending downfall? As she awaited their response, Rourke caught a glimpse of a small alien ship hovering on the edge of the gathering. It was not part of the main fleet, and something about it felt different. Unbeknownst to her, this vessel would change the course of the encounter in ways she could never have imagined. The tension crackled in the air as the Galactic Council deliberated their next move, leaving Rourke on the precipice of a conflict that would shape humanity's future among the stars. As the silence stretched across the comms, the holographic image of the alien commander shifted slightly, its many eyes narrowing in suspicion. "You expect us to believe that a primitive species like yours wishes to establish diplomatic relations?" It seemed both incredulous and contemptuous, reflecting centuries of superiority that the Council had cultivated. Rourke felt her heart race. The weight of their expectations pressed down on her shoulders. We may be new to the galactic stage, but humanity has much to offer. We come seeking collaboration, not conflict, she stated, her voice unwavering despite the pressure. Behind her, the crew exchanged glances, the tension in the air palpable. Rena stood by, ready to support her captain. "Captain, their ships are positioning themselves," Rena whispered, concern etched across her face. "Maintain formation and be ready for anything," Rourke replied quietly, her mind racing. Suddenly, the alien commander's expression shifted. "You will return to your home world or face the consequences." With that, the transmission abruptly ended, leaving Rourke staring at the now empty screen, frustration boiling within her. "Captain, we have incoming ships," Rena warned, her eyes glued to the radar. In a heartbeat, the atmosphere aboard the U.S. Valor changed. The crew sprang into action, executing their roles with precision born from months of training. Rourke's heart pounded as she grasped the armrests of her command chair, watching as alien vessels closed in from all directions, their weaponry primed and ready. "Raise shields and prepare to engage," she commanded, steeling herself for the imminent confrontation. The crew responded with a chorus of "Aye, Captain." As the first volley of energy blasts shot toward them, the U.S. Valor's shields flared brightly, absorbing the impact. The ship shuddered but held firm. Rourke felt a surge of adrenaline as she turned to her tactical officer, Ensign Teo. "Return fire. Target their lead ship." "Firing phasers," Teo replied, and the Valor unleashed a barrage of energy beams. The lead alien vessel staggered under the assault, sparks flying from its hull as it spun out of control. "Captain, they're regrouping," Rena shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. Rourke's mind raced. They needed a strategy, something to level the playing field. "Prepare a holographic decoy," she ordered. "Let's create some confusion." As the crew activated the decoy system, a shimmering illusion of the U.S. Valor projected several ghost images of the ship throughout the battlefield. The alien ships hesitated, unsure which target to engage. "Now, focus fire on their right flank," Rourke commanded, taking advantage of the momentary confusion. The crew rallied, firing with precision. Explosions erupted in the alien formation, sending debris scattering across the void. But amidst the chaos, Rourke noticed a smaller vessel lingering at the edge of the fray. Unlike the massive warships, this one was sleek and agile, darting in and out of the fight, seemingly unscathed. A flicker of hope ignited within her as she remembered the alien observer from earlier. Could this be the same ship? Suddenly, a message cut through the cacophony of battle. The voice was hurried and tense, yet unmistakably clear. "Valor, this is Elysian vessel Lyra. I come in peace. I wish to assist you." "Who are you?" Rourke asked, bewildered but intrigued. "I am Zana, an officer aboard Lyra. We believe in your cause and seek to undermine the Council's tyranny. Allow me to guide you." Rourke hesitated, weighing her options. With their forces stretched thin and the Council's wrath intensifying, could she trust this alien? "Very well, Lyra, lead the way," she responded, feeling a surge of determination. As the Valor followed the agile ship, Rourke knew that they were stepping deeper into unknown territory, both literally and figuratively. This alliance, whether it proved beneficial or disastrous, would shape the course of humanity's future among the stars. With the alien fleet in pursuit, the chase commenced, setting the stage for a confrontation that could either spell doom or become the turning point in humanity's struggle for a rightful place in the galaxy. As the USS Valor maneuvered through the chaotic battlefield, the sleek Elysian vessel Lyra danced around pursuing alien ships, deftly evading their fire. Rourke felt a mix of apprehension and hope. This unexpected ally might hold the key to survival, but trust was still a fragile currency in the depths of space. "Lyra, what's your plan?" Rourke asked, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "Follow my lead," came the calm reply from Zana. "We'll lure them into the asteroid belt ahead. Their ships are too large and cumbersome. You'll have the advantage in close quarters." "Copy that. Rena, plot a course," Rourke ordered, her mind racing with possibilities. The crew's confidence surged as they followed Lyra, veering toward the belt of asteroids that loomed ahead, a treacherous maze of rocks and debris. As they entered the asteroid field, the crew's focus sharpened. Rourke could see the pursuers struggling to keep their formations intact, their bulky ships colliding with floating debris as they tried to follow. "Now's our chance," Rourke shouted. "Prepare to launch torpedoes." The crew moved in a synchronized dance, their training coming to life as they loaded and fired torpedoes with precision. The asteroids provided natural cover, and Rourke guided the Valor deeper into the field, using the obstacles to her advantage. Suddenly, a warning alarm blared. "Captain, a large vessel is breaking through," Tio shouted, pointing at the redouts. The largest of the alien ships had navigated the debris, its massive guns trained on them. "Dodge and weave," Rourke commanded, her heart racing. The Valor swerved sharply, and the alien ship's cannons fired, narrowly missing them. "Let's give them a taste of their own medicine. Rena, target their engines," Rourke ordered, gripping the armrest of her chair as she felt the ship twist and turn beneath her. With a well-timed volley, they struck the alien ship's engines, sending it careening into a nearby asteroid. Debris exploded outward, and cheers erupted from the crew. Rourke felt a rush of pride as she glanced around, her team proving they were more than just a ragtag crew. They were a formidable force. "Keep pushing forward. We need to regroup with Lyra," Rourke said, adrenaline fueling her resolve. As they navigated the asteroid field, the small Elysian ship darted ahead, leading them toward a hidden alcove. Once inside the safe zone, Rourke took a moment to catch her breath. She turned to Zana, who was already projecting a holographic display of the area. "They'll regroup soon," Zana warned, her voice urgent. "We need to strategize." "Right," Rourke said, gathering her thoughts. "What do you suggest?" Zana pointed to the display. "The Council's ships are vulnerable when they try to breach this field. If we can set a trap, we can catch them off guard. We need to work together, using your ship's firepower and my agility." Rourke nodded, inspired by Zana's confidence. "Let's split our forces. Lyra can draw them in, while the Valor waits to ambush." "Agreed. But we'll need precise timing," Zana replied. Rourke rallied her crew, their spirits high after their recent victories. "We're going to set a trap for the Council. Lyra will lure them into the open, and will strike hard and fast." As they executed their plan, the crew of the U.S. Valor worked seamlessly with Zana and her team aboard Lyra. They communicated through a secure channel, sharing data and strategies as they prepared for the confrontation. Moments later, Zana's voice crackled over the comms. "The Council's ships are closing in. Get ready." Rourke felt a surge of adrenaline as she watched the alien vessels approach their trap. "Now, Lyra, lead them into position." With the alien ships locked onto the Elysian vessel, Rourke gave the signal. "Open fire." The U.S. Valor erupted from the alcove, unleashing a barrage of torpedoes and energy beams. The surprise attack was devastating, shattering the confidence of the Council's forces and marking a pivotal moment in the battle. As explosions illuminated the dark expanse of space, Rourke couldn't help but feel that this alliance, however unconventional, was the key to humanity's survival. They were not alone in the galaxy, and together, they would challenge the status quo. The battlefield erupted into chaos as the U.S. Valor and the Elysian vessel Lyra unleashed their coordinated assault. Energy blasts danced across the dark void, illuminating the alien ships as they struggled to regain their composure. Rourke felt a surge of exhilaration mixed with disbelief. The tide was turning in their favor. "Captain, we're breaching their lines," Tio exclaimed, his fingers flying over the controls. We've caught several ships off guard. Their formations are breaking apart. Keep pushing. Let's exploit their confusion. Rourke commanded, a fierce determination in her voice. The crew cheered, emboldened by their unexpected success, but Rourke knew this was just the beginning. On the other side of the galaxy, the Galactic Council was reeling from the assault. A holographic emergency meeting convened, displaying the leaders' dismay as they observed the unfolding disaster. Xylar's scales flickered with rage as he pounded the table once more. They are unyielding. How can these humans fight so fiercely? He snarled, his eyes darting around the chamber. We underestimated them, Xylar, Zoreth replied, frustration evident in his ethereal tone. We cannot allow this to continue. If we don't act decisively, we risk losing our power. An urgent voice broke through the chaos. We must regroup our forces and strike back immediately. We cannot show weakness. It was Vesara, the cunning diplomat from the Calyx race, who had long been a proponent of annihilating humanity. Regrouping will only allow them more time to prepare. Zoreth interjected, fear creeping into his voice. They've proven they can outmaneuver us. We need a different strategy. Enough. Xylar roared, silencing the room. If we retreat, we show them they have the upper hand. I propose we mobilize our strongest ships and crush them in one decisive blow. Reluctantly, the council members nodded, knowing that their pride was on the line. The leaders began issuing orders to consolidate their forces, unaware that their decisions would only fuel the fire of rebellion among the alien ranks. Back in the fray, Rourke received a status update from Rena, her tactical officer. We've taken out 3 council ships, Captain, but they're regrouping. More reinforcements are on the way. Prepare for evasive maneuvers, Rourke shouted, her mind racing. We can't let them surround us again. We need to retreat to a safer position and reevaluate. As they maneuvered away from the main battle, Rourke's thoughts were a whirlwind of strategy. They had gained momentum, but the Council's tenacity was undeniable. In the midst of her thoughts, a warning alarm blared from the bridge. Captain, a large fleet is entering our sector. Rena's voice cut through the tension, and the crew fell silent. Show me, Rourke commanded. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a formation of sleek, ominous ships moving toward them like a storm. The markings were unmistakable. It was the full might of the Council's fleet, ready to exact their vengeance. We can't take them all on, Tio said, his voice tinged with fear. No, but we can outsmart them, Rourke replied, her mind racing. Zana, can your ship create a distraction? We need a moment to regroup. Xana's voice came through with confidence. Absolutely. I can draw their attention while you prepare for a counterattack. Rourke nodded, grateful for the support. Let's create chaos. Valor will flank from the side while Lyra takes the front. If we can divide their focus, we can strike at their weakest point. Understood. The crew responded, a newfound determination igniting their spirits. As Lyra darted into the fray, drawing fire and attention from the oncoming fleet, Rourke steeled herself. All hands, brace for impact. We're about to take the fight back to them. The U.S. Valor surged forward, utilizing the element of surprise to reposition itself. Rourke felt the weight of history pressing down on her. This battle wasn't just for survival, it was for humanity's place in the galaxy. As the Dreadnought surged into the fray, she felt a surge of hope. The Galactic Council might be powerful, but humanity had shown it would not be easily subdued. The moment of reckoning was at hand. With the Council's forces converging, Rourke knew that this confrontation would define not just the fate of the Valor, but the legacy of humanity among the stars. The stage was set for a battle that would echo through the annals of galactic history. The battlefield was a maelstrom of chaos, energy beams crisscrossing the void as the U.S. Valor and the Elysian vessel Lyra executed their daring maneuver. Rourke's heart raced as she watched Lyra draw fire from the Council's ships, its sleek form weaving through blasts with remarkable agility. "Hold steady," Rourke shouted, gripping her command chair as the Valor entered the fray, targeting the exposed flank of an alien warship. "Focus fire on that ship. Now." The crew responded with urgency, unleashing a barrage of torpedoes and phaser fire that struck true, exploding the alien vessel in a brilliant flash. Cheers erupted in the command deck, but Rourke knew better than to revel in the moment. They were still vastly outnumbered. "Reinforcements are arriving," Rena called out, her voice urgent. "Another wave of council ships is approaching from the starboard side." Rourke cursed under her breath. "All hands, prepare for evasive maneuvers. We need to break through their lines." Just then, Zana's voice crackled through the comms. "Captain, I have a plan. I can create an energy pulse that will temporarily disable their targeting systems. It's risky, but it might buy us the time we need." Rourke hesitated, weighing the risks. "Will it affect our systems too?" "Only momentarily. We can handle it," Zana replied confidently. "Do it. Prepare the energy pulse," Rourke commanded, her instincts kicking in. They had no choice. This was their chance to turn the tide. As Lyra positioned itself strategically within the battle, Zana initiated the pulse. The U.S. Valor shuddered as the wave of energy rippled outward, momentarily overwhelming their own systems, but successfully disrupting the targeting arrays of the nearest council ships. "Now's our chance," Rourke shouted. "Engage at will." The crew unleashed their firepower with renewed vigor, targeting the confused alien vessels that struggled to regain control. The Valor moved fluidly through the battlefield, using the chaos to their advantage. Alien ships began to falter under the relentless assault. But amidst the chaos, Rourke noticed something unsettling. The Council's ships were beginning to rally, their commanders quickly adjusting to the sudden shift in momentum. "Captain, they're coordinating a counterattack," Tio warned. "We need to break off before they regroup." "Rena, plot a course to the asteroid belt again. We'll use it to shield our retreat," Rourke instructed, adrenaline surging through her veins. As they executed the maneuver, a deep rumble echoed through the Valor. The ship trembled under the strain of evasive maneuvers, and alarms blared, warning them of structural stress. "Captain, we're taking heavy fire," Rena reported, her face a mask of concentration. "Shields are holding, but not for long." "Divert auxiliary power to the shields," Rourke ordered, determination setting her jaw. They could not afford to falter now. Just as they entered the asteroid belt, a massive explosion rocked the ship. Rourke stumbled, gripping the console to maintain her balance. "Damage report," she shouted. "Main engines are compromised. We've lost thrust." Tio replied, panic rising in his voice. "Hold on. We'll make it through." Rourke rallied her crew, her voice steady despite the chaos. "We're not done yet." As they navigated the rocky terrain, alien ships hesitated to follow, their large forms struggling to maneuver through the debris. Rourke took a moment to regain her composure. "We need to capitalize on this. Let's lay traps among the asteroids. Prepare mines." The crew leaped into action, loading and deploying the mines in strategic locations. The Valor weaved through the rocks, setting up their deadly ambush. Suddenly, Zana's voice came through urgently. "Captain, I've spotted a weak point in their formation. If we can draw them in, we can destroy their lead ship." "Let's do it," Rourke replied, feeling the adrenaline surge through her. "Rena, make a fast approach toward their lead vessel. Tio, target their engines." As the Valor emerged from the cover of the asteroids, the alien ships were momentarily taken by surprise. Rourke gripped her command chair tightly as they accelerated, the ship hurtling toward the Council's lead vessel. "Now," she shouted as they unleashed a torrent of fire at the alien ship. The energy beams struck home, tearing through shields and hull, sending the vessel spiraling out of control. The tide was turning, and with each enemy ship that fell, the crew of the U.S. Valor felt their resolve strengthening. Rourke knew they were fighting not just for survival, but for a place in the galaxy. a place where humanity would not be underestimated. But as the battle raged on, the Council was far from finished. New ships surged forward, their fury undiminished. Rourke prepared for the next wave, determined to fight until the very end. The U.S. Valor surged forward, its crew rallying around Rourke as they engaged in a desperate dance of survival. The atmosphere on the bridge was electric, a mix of adrenaline and determination. Rourke knew they were making headway, but the Council's reinforcements were formidable, and they would need every ounce of cunning to emerge victorious. "Captain, we've neutralized several enemy ships, but their main fleet is still intact," Rena reported, her fingers flying over the controls. "They're regrouping and preparing for another coordinated attack." Rourke scanned the tactical display, her mind racing. The Council's ships were moving with renewed purpose, their formations tightening. "We need to disrupt their coordination. Tio, can we deploy a decoy to draw their fire?" "Already on it, Captain," Tio replied, quickly prepping the system. "We can create an artificial signal that mimics our energy signatures." "Do it. Make it convincing," Rourke ordered. "We need them focused on a false target." As Tio worked, Zana's voice crackled through the comms. "I can help. I'll position Lyra to lure their lead ship away while you engage from the rear. Together, we can make them pay for their arrogance." "Understood," Rourke said, feeling the weight of their alliance solidifying. "Let's show them what humanity is capable of." With Lyra darting into position, the crew watched as the decoy was launched, a small ship projecting their energy signature into the void. The Council ships turned, drawn to the new target as the Valor and Lyra prepared for their next move. "Now let's execute the plan," Rourke commanded. The Valor raced toward the distracted alien fleet, positioning itself for a surprise attack. As they emerged from behind the decoy, the crew opened fire, hitting the Council ships from an unexpected angle. Energy beams lit up the void, striking hulls, and causing panic among the alien forces. The Valor moved with precision, their well-practiced teamwork shining through. "Captain, we're making a significant impact," Tio shouted, excitement bubbling in his voice. "Keep the pressure on. We can't let up," Rourke replied, her eyes glued to the tactical display. But just as hope began to bloom, an ominous presence loomed in the distance. A massive alien flagship appeared, its dark silhouette eclipsing the stars. The Council's strongest ship, the Dreadnought Zolthor, had arrived. "Captain, that ship is equipped with advanced weaponry. We need to take it out quickly," Rena warned, her voice laced with urgency. Rourke's heart sank. The Zolthor was a beast of a ship, feared across the galaxy. "We have to take it out before it joins the fray. All hands, concentrate fire on that flagship." The crew responded with fierce determination, directing all firepower toward the approaching behemoth. Explosions lit up the darkness as their energy beams struck the Zolthor, but the ship's shields absorbed the impact with menacing resilience. "It's not budging, Captain," Tio shouted, frustration evident in his voice. "We're not penetrating their shields." "Rena, can we divert power from the non-essential systems to boost our weapon output?" Rourke asked, formulating a desperate plan. "Diverting power now," Rena responded, her fingers flying over the console. "We'll overload the phaser banks for a more powerful shot, but we'll risk damaging our systems." "Do it. We need to take that ship down," Rourke commanded, feeling the weight of their decision. As the crew rallied, the Valor trembled under the strain of overloading its systems. Rourke felt the ship shudder as power surged through the weapon systems. "Hold steady. Prepare to fire on my mark." With the Zolthor closing in, the crew of the Valor braced for the confrontation of a lifetime. Rourke could see the fear in her crew's eyes, but she also sensed their resolve. They were ready to fight for their survival. "Now," she shouted, and the Valor unleashed a concentrated beam of energy, a brilliant lance of light tearing through the darkness toward the flagship. The beam struck the Zolthor's shields with a deafening roar, and for a moment, it held firm. But then, The energy output exceeded all expectations. The flagship's shields flickered and failed, and the beam blasted through, slamming into the hull. Explosions erupted across the Zolfor, and Work's heart raced as the ship shuddered in the wake of their attack. "We did it," she exclaimed, adrenaline surging through her veins. But their victory was short-lived. The Dreadnought's massive guns turned toward the Valor, preparing to retaliate. Rourke felt a chill of dread wash over her. "Evasive maneuvers," she shouted, her voice cutting through the panic. "Get us out of here." As the crew executed their orders, Rourke knew the final confrontation was upon them. This battle was not just about survival. It was about proving that humanity could stand tall against the galaxy's greatest powers. With the Zolthor wounded but still dangerous, the next moments would decide their fate. The U.S. Valor surged forward, evading the incoming fire from the Dreadnought Zolthor. Rourke's heart raced as the ship jolted, the crew working in unison to maintain control. They had struck a significant blow, but the Council would not back down easily. "Captain, their main guns are charging," Rena shouted, urgency echoing in her voice. "We have only moments before they fire. Plot an escape route, but don't run just yet," Rourke commanded, her mind racing. "We can't give them the chance to regroup." "Understood," Tio replied, rapidly calculating their trajectory. "We need to keep them off balance." As the Valor twisted and turned among the debris, Rourke's eyes remained glued to the view screen. The Zolthor, now wounded but undeterred, was slowly repositioning. Its massive frame loomed like a predator, and Rourke felt the pressure mounting. "Zana, can you get Lyra into a position to flank them again?" she asked, hoping for a spark of inspiration. "On it," Zana responded, her voice steady. "We'll create another distraction." "Make it count," Rourke said, aware of the risk they were all taking. The Valor shot forward, dodging beams of energy that narrowly missed them. The crew's eyes were locked on the target, every one of them focused on survival. As they closed in on the Zolthor, Rourke could see the fearlessness in her crew's eyes, a mix of determination and desperation. "Now," Zana's voice crackled through the comms, and the Lyra shot into view, launching flares and projecting holographic decoys to confuse the Zolthor's targeting systems. The massive flagship hesitated, its turrets swiveling to follow the decoys. Rourke saw her opportunity. "Tio, target their weapon systems. We have to take them offline before they fire." "Locked on," Tio shouted, fingers flying over the console. "Fire," Rourke commanded, her voice cutting through the chaos. The Valor unleashed a torrent of firepower aimed squarely at the Zolthor's weapon arrays. Explosions erupted along the flagship's side, and Rourke felt a rush of satisfaction as she watched the alien ship reel from the impact. But just then, alarms blared again. "Captain, another wave of reinforcements is emerging from hyperspace," Rena warned, her expression grave. Rourke's heart sank. "How many?" "Too many to count," Rena replied, panic rising in her voice. "Zana, we need to retreat," Rourke said, realizing the gravity of their situation. "Can you cover our withdrawal?" "Absolutely. But we can't hold them off for long," Zana replied, determination fueling her resolve. "Understood. We'll regroup and come back with reinforcements," Rourke said, her mind racing. They had inflicted damage, but the Zolthor remained a looming threat, and now the Council was coming back with a vengeance. "Let's get Lyra out of here," Rourke ordered, hoping they could make it back to safety. The Valor started to pull away, but the Zolthor began to stabilize. Rourke watched in horror as it turned its focus back to them. "Brace for impact," she shouted. A blast of energy shot from the flagship, striking the Valor's shields with a deafening roar. The ship shuddered violently, alarms blaring as systems began to fail. "Shields at 30%, Rena shouted, her voice strained. "Divert all power to the forward shields," Rourke commanded, gripping her chair as the ship shook beneath her. As they maneuvered away from the Zolthor, The crew worked furiously to stabilize the ship. Rourke felt the weight of their peril, the realization that they were on the brink of catastrophe. "Captain, we're being pursued," Tio warned, his voice edged with panic. "They're not letting up." Rourke's mind raced as she formulated a plan. "Prepare to deploy all remaining mines. We can't let them follow us back to Earth." "Ready to deploy," Tio replied, determination shining in his eyes. "Do it," Rourke commanded. As the mines scattered into the vacuum of space, the Zolthor closed in. Rourke could see the alien ships chasing them, their forms glimmering ominously against the backdrop of stars. "Now, get us back to the asteroid belt," Rourke shouted, urgency fueling her voice. Just as they entered the belt, a massive explosion shook the space behind them. Rourke glanced back, seeing the Zolthor and several pursuing ships caught in the minefield's deadly embrace. "Did it work?" Rena asked, breathless. "Let's hope so," Rourke replied, her heart pounding. "Keep the scanners on high alert. We're not out of danger yet." The U.S. Valor weaved skillfully among the debris of the asteroid belt, the crew still buzzing with adrenaline as they processed the chaos of the battle. Rourke glanced at the tactical display, confirming that their escape from the Zolthor and its reinforcements had been successful, at least for now. But the atmosphere on the bridge was heavy with concern. "Captain, Lyra is reporting they've made it through the minefield and are en route to rendezvous with us," Rena said, relief washing over her features. "Good. Let's regroup and assess the situation," Rourke replied, taking a deep breath. They had fought fiercely, but she knew the Council would be regrouping for another assault. As Lyra approached, Zana's voice crackled over the comms. "Rourke, we took some hits, but we're mostly intact. We're ready for a debrief." "Understood. Let's meet in the conference room," Rourke replied, feeling a mix of exhaustion and determination. Once in the conference room, the mood shifted. The crew members were weary but alive, their eyes shining with a newfound camaraderie forged in the heat of battle. Rourke stood at the head of the table, facing her officers. "First, I want to commend all of you for your bravery today. We faced overwhelming odds and emerged alive, which is no small feat," she began, her voice steady. Tio nodded, his expression serious. "But we need to acknowledge the threat we're up against. The Council won't back down after this loss." "Agreed," Rena chimed in. "They'll want retribution. We need to be ready." Zana leaned forward, her eyes fierce. "This isn't just about survival anymore. We've shown them we can fight back. We need to capitalize on that. We can't just defend. We must strike." Rourke felt a spark of excitement at the idea. "You're right. If we can show the Council that humanity will not cower, it might deter future attacks. We need a plan to rally other systems to our cause." The room buzzed with ideas, and Rourke felt the energy shift from fear to resolve. They began brainstorming strategies to forge alliances and prepare for the inevitable retaliation from the Council. As they discussed their plans, Rourke couldn't shake the feeling that this battle had changed everything. The Council had underestimated humanity, and they had fought back with ingenuity and courage. "Let's compile our intelligence from this battle," she instructed. "We need to analyze the Council's tactics and weaknesses. If we can find a way to exploit them, we can turn the tide." Hours passed as the crew worked tirelessly, but finally, a comprehensive report was ready. Rourke reviewed it, her heart pounding. The data revealed vulnerabilities in the Council's logistics and communication networks, chinks in their armor that could be exploited. "All right, everyone, gather round," Rourke called, excitement bubbling in her chest. "We have our path forward. We can strike their supply lines, disrupt their communication, and make them think twice about attacking Earth again." Cheers erupted among the crew, their spirits lifting. Rourke felt a sense of unity and purpose. They were no longer just a small ship fighting for survival. They were part of a movement, a rallying cry for humanity against a powerful foe. "Now we need to reach out to potential allies." There are systems out there that have also felt the Council's wrath. If we can unite our forces, we stand a chance, Work said, her voice resolute. The crew nodded in agreement, energized by the challenge ahead. As they prepared for the next phase of their mission, Rourke took a moment to reflect on how far they had come. Humanity had been underestimated, dismissed as insignificant in the grand tapestry of the galaxy. But now, they had proven their worth, and the Galactic Council would never see them the same way again. Prepare for a course back to Earth, Rourke commanded. We'll need to gather support, reinforce our defenses, and prepare for the inevitable confrontation. They will come for us, but we will be ready. With the crew moving to execute her orders, Rourke felt a surge of hope. They had ignited a fire within themselves, and that fire would not be easily extinguished. The struggle for their place among the stars had just begun, and Rourke was determined to lead humanity into a new era, one where they would not just survive, but thrive. As the U.S. Valor plotted its course through the stars, Rourke knew that they were not just a ship or a crew. They were the vanguard of a revolution, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The galaxy would remember this day, the day humanity stood tall, and the Galactic Council learned that they had awakened a force they could no longer ignore.